Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Obed Velez, and with me, it's the most interesting man in the world, Julian.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be with you again, my friend.
Good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. This is gonna be a very fun episode for sure. We got plenty of stuff to run through, so I'm looking forward to today, man.
It's gonna be freaking hilarious, dude.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. Anything new? I don't, man. I'm telling you again. I'm clearing out. I've been out of the loop, not watching anything for the last couple of weeks because I'm a little bit burned out.
Sure.
So, just playing Elden Ring. Game's really good. Still, I'm almost at the end, 80 hours in. So,
yeah,
it's a time sink, man. But it's really really good. But yeah, not much on my end, dude. Honestly, it's been pretty much it.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, nothing too crazy on my side. I started watching the Ilm Documentary on Disney Plus that they got going on there. That series.
All right.
Highly recommend it. Really awesome. There's a lot of stories and things that I knew and a lot I didn't know. And I think it's like we all know that they were the first. Like George was the first with creating a special effects, visual effects, company. Really, like that wasn't a thing at that time. And his company is more than just special effects, visual effects. It's engineering, like the camera work. It was obviously the sound editing we know comes into their mix. There's so many aspects to the way that George's company really just completely changed cinema as a whole, and it's good to see it get the respect it deserves. It is funny though, like you see the advertisements for it on the Disney Plus app, like when the top banner of the actual stream platform,
the recommendations or whatever,
recommendations and all that. Yeah, so they have Kathleen Kennedy like in the group picture because she was one of the original people like with the ILM. Some of their work there. So I look forward to getting deeper into it because I know they're going to lead up to the where they are now more so. But so far, so good. But yeah, nothing too crazy on my end. Outside of that, I mean, I think I'm finally calmed down since it's been a couple weeks since the trip to Comic-Con. And then we get today's
man,
the big stuff. So here we got plenty to go through today.
I'm telling you, it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
No, I guess we can jump right into it, right? Because it's like, holy crap! Like, how is this stuff happening? So whatever's going on at like this seemed to have been a really well calculated, I guess, string of news that we've gotten in the last 3 days. That said, like the initial shock was crazy.
Yeah.
It first started with Batgirl getting, I guess, not necessarily canceled, but indefinitely shelved. Like it's one of those. Yeah, I mean, technically canceled, but the project is still there. They could decide to release it, but at this point, I don't think
I mean,
so.
it was on the editing floor still, allegedly. They test screened it, right? People didn't generally, from what we're hearing, like generally did not like it. The amount of money it would take for them to actually make changes to it probably sounds like it would require reshoots.
Yeah.
Which they didn't think it was worth already the amount of money that they've spent on the movie or inherited at least, from the regime before, because they didn't greenlight this project. This is a project that's been in the work for a while. And you think about $90 million for a streaming only film, that's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And you're going to spend $90 million. You can't break even. You have to actually make a profit from it. And Obed, you and I, this is a project we didn't ask for. I'm not saying that I wanted to cancel that. I'm not going to go as far as to say, but
I was indifferent. Really I was excited to see Michael Keaton back, right? And that was exciting. Because I guess they were gonna try and have this sort of like Batman Beyond dynamic to the movie, or at least that
Yeah.
was the what was pitched to, I guess, the fans, right? That was what we thought was going on. So
Then the reports come out what it actually was, what the movie itself actually is. And I mean, I haven't seen the movie, so I want to be clear. This is all just conjecture, right? We're reading reports as it's coming out. But allegedly, the movie, Michael Keaton only has like one scene in the whole movie. He's not a recurring character.
oh,
Uh,
okay,
he Batgirl, right, is really she's going to like a Halloween, let's like Halloween time. So she creates the costume Batgirl like as a costume, like literally, and happens to fall into circumstances where she actually has to be a hero, has no training, no type of, coming into the hero space.
no,
Just goes right. This is what we're reading. Again, I
I
have
didn't
not
I
seen
didn't
the
know any of
movie.
that. That's
But I,
why.
I got into the weeds yesterday. And apparently Nathan Fillion was one of the best parts of the movie. His Firefly apparently was very good. Um, but like
Was it
this
Brendan
is
Fraser, not Nathan Fillion?
sorry, Brendan
Brendan
Fraser.
Fraser,
My
yeah,
bad, my
yeah, yeah.
bad, my bad. Sorry, not even Brendan Fraser, not the same person. So yeah, hearing that, like I could see why the execs they're making a push of quality over quantity, and if the amount of money to fix that doesn't sound like you just reshoot two scenes.
Yeah,
That sounds like half the movie at least has to be changed.
yeah,
But again, that's not you can't blame because people are looking at this like, well, Warner Brothers, you guys should know. It's like this is new house.
yeah.
This is new leadership. These guys that came in here, they didn't make this.
Yeah,
They
I did.
inherited
I did
it.
hear about the like the plot leak that
Yeah.
it got out there after the announcement, right? Then the leaks started coming out. I
Yeah.
stayed away from it. I'm indifferent,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So I don't really
I would have watched
care.
it anyways. Don't get
Yeah,
me wrong.
yeah. But it's not like I'm not bummed. So,
That's the thing.
that's the
I'm
thing.
not butthurt about it, but at the same extent, it's like, well, I wish I could have seen the movie because
Yeah.
it was supposedly done, but then when you realize it really wasn't done, that's kind of a misconception. It was done being shot the first cut, but it was still being edited and screened. So
Did
it probably could have been released at whatever they screened to people, like how Zack Snyder had a cut version, but that wasn't really done. They still had to go back and shoot extra stuff and clean it up. It sounds to me like that could have been a similar case here.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Joss Whedon involved with this project at some point?
Originally, he wrote this, writing the story and directing. Obviously, we know that got quickly taken out after this little movie. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious, did they inherit his script and take that to make a movie, or did they completely remake it? Now, the brothers who were making this movie, from a directing standpoint, these are the
Yeah.
same guys that worked on Miss Marvel.
Yep.
So it's ironically enough, I was watching the Miss Marvel Assembled on Disney Plus, and they're on there, the same brothers talking about how they're happy to have an opportunity doing this and all that. Seemed like very nice men. Seemed like they really were happy to be a part of, a larger part of Hollywood and being accepted and represented. It's sad when you hear that because there's another rumors. I'm not there. I don't know, but rumors that one of the directors found out at a wedding, like their actual wedding, that this was being canceled. I don't know, man.
Wow.
This definitely was a blindside for a lot of people. Clearly, this stuff started leaking out because it was going to be a part of the announcements for the Q2 earnings report that came out today, and we'll get into that in a second. But Batgirl, man, that was a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people were looking forward to it. Like I said, I was indifferent, but
Yeah.
at the same time, I would have had the opportunity to watch the movie and at least judge for myself.
Right.
And that was followed by, was it 6 movies that got pulled from HBO Max, right?
Yeah, that were already. Well, there was movies that were already physically on HBO.
Yeah, the
Max.
movies that they got pulled
Yeah.
from the service.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. They got, yeah. I mean, I pulled down the list, and I'm not gonna lie to you, there weren't movies that I was watching. So
Yeah.
it was like, well, unfortunate for people who like those,
Yeah.
it wasn't
But
for me. So.
what's interesting is that it was original content. It was like
Right.
only on HBO Max stuff that got pulled, right?
Right.
Man, it's so interesting. Like the moves are being done right, but I still have zero confidence on their ability to pull off what they're trying to do. We'll talk about it later, right? As long as the DC leadership or like the people that are handling the movies are there, I just have low confidence in this. I don't know if you saw Joel there, and I can look it up. There was another article or something that got out there about how they're restructuring DC Comics too, like the comics division.
Yeah, I heard that there's so the film side, it's technically a studio, they're recognizing it as now, and then the comics division, allegedly there's shifts going on there. I mean, it does not sound like any part of this their business is staying like it was before. This is a hardcore acquisition.
Yeah,
This acquisition, they're usually, I'm used to seeing business acquisitions. We've been around, we've seen stuff. I'm used to seeing wait and see, evaluate, maybe two, three people kind of get shifted around, but every single part of the company is not safe. Every single part of the company is having these shakeups. I mean, you probably, I don't know. Well, you probably seen some of the graphics, but I was telling you before we went on air. I actually watched their earnings report just to hear it from the horse's mouth per se on what's actually happening at Warner, because that was an opportunity to actually hear from the new CEO, actually hear him talk about what he wants to do, and what he sees, and um, it sounds to me like some of the decision making too is not just yes, it's quality, but they hope that it brings revenue, which is a business, right, not charity. So we
exactly.
understand that
Yeah,
they,
yeah.
they have to make money. But it sounds to me a lot of the decisions comes back to the stuff we talked about before Comic-Con, which is, they're trying to have a fiscal cash reserve. $3 billion is their goal to have as a liquid cash reserves, not stocks, not other assets or commodity. Like, they want to have liquid $3 billion. And look, we're not an economics show. That's not the kind of thing that we're here for. But let's be real. If you live in America or even other parts of the world for that matter, what's going on in England or other places, there's a lot of concern, obviously, from a fiscal standpoint. And I think the wise thing to do is to just make sure you're prepared, so that way you don't have to have major harm to your company. Self-preservation, which hopefully, right, is including also taking care of both your staff and the people involved. So, a lot of places are making cuts. There were reports to HBO Max specifically was going to have a large amount of layoffs. They did not announce that. That's all rumors. It sounds like that could be coming down the line based on um, the HBO Max Discovery app merger that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that the app is going to now be merged into one. They're not going to be two separate, which is weird because now it makes a lot more sense why HBO Max was not a huge presence at Comic Con, or like at the way you're
They're
used to.
just redoing
They're,
everything.
they're phasing it out.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, it could be again why what DC Comics themselves didn't have a presence at Comic Con. You said that there was nothing from them.
Nothing from the films, comics, none of that had a presence. That's obvious. That's super obvious. Why would you spend that money, right? And that was something they used to spend around 26 million, I think it was the report that had come out before at the con. They were much cheaper this year. They stuck to only, those two properties in Hall H, and outside of that, you had your Game of Thrones, and that was it. And two Jim Lee, panels. It makes a whole lot more sense now. I do imagine that they'll be back in full swing to make some major announcements come next year. At least a direction, right? To go through everything. But at the same time, sounds like they're saying by 2025 they expect to be profitable. Like, they're expecting to go through a few years of eating costs, just fully absorbing these multi-million-dollar projects that are getting canceled,
Yeah,
and just eating those costs themselves. So it is a strange strange situation. I've never seen this before. I'm sure, Obed, you heard about the thing about the executive, an anonymous executive from rival studio. Most people assume it's probably somewhere over at Disney. Um, Literally said, "Hey, we're neighbors with these guys. 30 years I've been in the industry. I've never seen this thing." They didn't say thing, but
Could be
you
it
know,
could be Paramount because I think
Paramount,
they're around
yeah.
the same area. Yeah,
Yeah, they said, "Look, we this is unprecedented. This
yeah.
never has happened before
Who's
to this
nuts?
extent."
Yeah. So the other movie that got the axe was Scoop 2. So the
Another
Scooby
one not for
sequel.
me, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kids movie, right?
Yep.
But
The children.
it's like that's something that they probably needed. I don't think that Super Pets is doing that well or as good as they thought they
No,
were.
it's
hoping.
underperformed. I
Yeah.
don't know if you heard that. It's underperformed.
Yeah.
You know,
So
heard it was good though.
yeah, I heard mixed reviews about it.
Yeah,
Some more negative than others.
Oh no. I guess I only heard one part of the internet that means.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
up?
No, we I sent you a really good video on the this sort of like movie hating culture that's
Yeah.
prominent on YouTube. We'll call it out, right?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
get paid by YouTube, so I can call it out.
No.
It's very interesting how a lot of people like we've gone and like we've talked about it before when it comes to Star Wars, right? The Mike Zero and Doom and all these other people, right? So it's just so strange that when it comes to like the bashing and nitpicking of every property, right? Because Star Wars they're not the only ones that have gone through this. Marvel is going through it right now.
Fans are intense, yeah.
DC has been going going through it for a while. Star Trek has been going at it since the 60s. I don't. Hey, you take it. Hey, take it as you may. I don't. That's the only thing I said, right? It's Masters of the Universe. You know what I've said about that, right? Yeah. Okay.
Oh man.
So,
Well, but I mean, think about like you just said that about like the YouTube culture, like even now, right? Like now we, those were times before. You're seeing it now phase into where everyone has a platform. Well, not everybody should. That's another conversation. But I believe in free speech, but if when you get to the place where your literal slogan is "Stay angry," that is literally what you are marketing your entire channel on. I'm not giving names. I'm just saying this is literally your thing. I don't like. Of course, you're gonna profiting off of this anger, this extreme emotions to one side of the spectrum. It's like, but I don't know what these people would do if they actually got something that they liked. I don't think they ever could be. They could. I don't think they could ever admit they liked something, even if they did, because they would lose a following.
Yeah.
They have to stay angry because like they can't change that. I mean, that's been their thing.
So the just to give you an example, right? This is the sort like I guess Kathleen Kennedy has been fired since 2017, Joel. So I don't know. Like
I know, man.
Like I don't know who's running it. Some sort of like it's
a force ghost,
a deep studio thing. Instead of deep studio, right?
The lizard people.
Like, I guess like based on the two videos from today, right? Like she got destroyed by Chapek again, and then Ian McGregor apologizes for adding Riva to the show. Like this, like where does he get this stuff, bro? How
pulling it out, man?
How, man? It's like we don't deal with like fake news and whatnot. It's like. Call us out, right? If we're wrong, and we'll crow, and it doesn't matter, right?
I was wrong about this movie, the Snyder cut.
We've been wrong.
I straight up said I didn't think it'd be better than. Well, I was very wrong.
Yeah,
I'll admit it.
Yeah, we've been wrong about a few things here and there, but I think that for the most part, we've done a pretty good job at even predicting things that actually came to happen, like to the T. So, and we're not industry insiders. This is like common sense, like. Putting dots together, like I don't know, Joel I don't know, you guys can see it, but Joel on the other side, he has the big board with the twine going around from like thumbtacks. So That's what he does.
I'm always a theorist over here. That's just how I live my life.
Movie theorist. Um,
That could be a new channel
yeah,
if that
right.
doesn't exist. The
Yeah.
movie
Well,
theorist.
there's the film theory. There's
Yeah.
film theory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man,
Sorry.
it's crazy. This whole thing, right? Um, I guess we can talk about the stuff today from the call, right? Which is basically,
Yeah.
and correct me if I'm wrong. After what's the after Flash, right? Because they said that Flash is indeed coming out, and you
They
know,
did not say Aquaman by name.
no,
They said only when I was listening, Aquaman's reference when they talk about the 10 years thing. We'll talk about that in a second. But they specifically said Shazam, Black Adam. Sorry, Black Adam, Shazam, Flash.
yep, yeah. Um, so we're like our assumption right now, at least how I see things, is that they're resetting after the last movie. So last movie comes out, reset, 10-year plan. That's at least how I took it. So I don't know if you feel different about it, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree, and as much as it pains me because I'm telling you, like I'm not the exact. I don't understand how it all works, but I have no problem seeing that this Flash movie get thrown in the trash can. I don't need to like would I like to see there's a lot I'm sure there's a lot of really cool things in that movie and there's a lot of good people that worked on it, so I don't want to be insensitive. Um I would have no problem if they would have announced that today. I know there's been a large outcry on the oh no. I, Mark my words, Obed. Just because we've heard reports that the test screenings are good does not mean when that movie comes out it's going to have the
Well,
same reaction from light
yeah.
audiences. And if that movie ends up being a stinker, like if for some reason this is a big if it's like put aside the politics of what's going on with individual, if that movie itself is not a good movie, it's gonna backfire so hard on them.
So
They're
yeah,
gonna wish they threw in the trash can.
yeah. It's really tough, right? They're in a tough position when it comes to that movie. Here's how I see it, right? You still have about a year and a half or whatever, about a year, right? To figure
Uh,
out what to do with this
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I like well, you gotta figure it out. There's a reason why the movie survived the cuts, right? And that's positive. That means that the movie is more than likely actually pretty good. But you gotta do something about them. It's like I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's like this mushroom cult thing is you gotta figure this out. It's like whatever is happening, I don't know.
And look, people do strange things on their own accord, separate. And there's many companies, corporations out there that hire people for their talent, and then outside of that, in your personal life, in your home, people do whatever they want. I get that. But Obed, the stories that we're hearing right now,
It's nuts.
this doesn't sound to me like somebody that's been stable and just all of a sudden fell off the rocking chair.
No.
The stories we're hearing is like this stuff's been going on for years and it
Yeah.
only got worse.
Yep.
So I don't like any studio. I mean, this is not just a Warner. This is any studio out there. They got to use this as an opportunity to say, let's not ever have this kind of thing happen again, because you can't control people. People are going to do whatever they want, but it's not a good look when you feel like you have to put a movie out when somebody is literally pooping in your face right now with the kind of stuff they're doing and could care less, hurting a lot of innocent people who
Yeah.
worked really hard on this movie.
Yeah.
That this is an absolute disaster for these guys. You cannot let that continue
Yeah.
to happen, bro.
And I think that's the problem, right? They either figure it out, or I think that overall, like fans are gonna see it regardless, right? But
Will they?
general public are gonna associate, the character with the person, and that's gonna be a big problem. So
If word of mouth on the movie is good, regardless of what happened, I'm gonna be very curious to see how those numbers run. Like that's gonna be a week when that movie releases. I'm going to be just staring at Box Office Mojo, just waiting to see those numbers coming through.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna put a prediction right now. If that movie can't comes out, I'll say somewhere to the tune of $70 to $80 million opening weekend.
Okay, that's soft. Only thing that could hype it, right? Because that teaser that they showed was good, but they could release like an actual full trailer and go crazy on the trailer, right? Unfortunately, this is one of the cases, right, where you have to do with Sony and show on the trailer like pivotal parts of the movie, and because you gotta get people in, like you gotta.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You gotta hire the guy that cut the trailer for Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is basically the entire movie in the trailer, and just put it. Yeah. Yeah, man.
I would love to test screen this movie. I could, if I did, I couldn't talk about it obviously on the show, but I would love to test screen this movie because is it really? I'm just curious. Is it really as good as the reports are that they have, or is that just being leaked to kind of look at this hand, don't look at this one?
Is it good enough to save? That was the thing, right? Yeah.
Is it good enough to save? Is it worth saving? Because there's a lot of movies and things out there that people have demanded and asked for. Look, Boba Fett. From when we started this podcast, bro, I called it. I said, I'm not saying I don't like Boba Fett. I'm not saying all this. That is not the series to put out right now. That is not the movie that's needed.
Back
whatever.
then when there were,
Back then, they put the thing out. All of a sudden, well, this show, didn't really seem to be put together and have a. Listen, I don't be surprised with this Flash movie that people have a sentiment where they're not only do they make fun of what happened behind the scenes, but what actually takes place. Because if the rumors are true, Obed, the first 10 minutes undoes everything that's happened in the past movies. Flash goes in and stops, Steve Trevor from ever meeting Wonder Woman. And he stops General Zod. Or sorry, stops like General Zod from ever, like random like things, like events in the first few minutes. If that happens, bro, that ain't going to fly very good. I can tell you that right now. This movie may not be as good. I'm very curious.
Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't. We're baffled. Like we're as baffled as that other executive that was like, because it doesn't like a lot of things that really don't make sense, right? I think hitting the reset button is good. It's just that you have to be really cautious with what you do with it. I mean, could they be resetting so J.J. Abrams can take over and do the plan?
So I guess let's talk about the 10-year thing. I guess now let's or do you want to take a break? Come back.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's take a break. Come back, and we'll talk about their plan. So stay here. Don't nobody go nowhere.
No, we're coming right back in.
And we're back. All right, man. Take us over the 10-year future of DC.
In a very unique opportunity to hear from the CEO during that investor call, the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery directly said they believe strongly in DC's films. They want quality over quantity. These are exact quotes I'm telling you that was said. And that they believe that they are going to build around their core of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman. That was the ones that obviously in the graphic that was put up about franchises, they specifically showed Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. But in from the CEO's mouth, those were the four characters that he directly referenced. And then he made it clear to say that they are going to take the route similar of Disney. And he said Disney by name, and he said just like Alan Horn and Bob Iger put together a team with Kevin Feige. I mean, this by name he's referencing these people. He said we have a writers' room together that is planning out the next 10 years of DC's films. Clearly, they got inspired by what Marvel's doing. I wouldn't be shocked if they were actually physically there in Hall H watching that presentation. You hear the news, and stuff, but like it's a slap in the face when you see what's going on, right?
Are they 14 years too late though? That's the question.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. I think for a long time I have felt, but I never thought it would be a reality like this kind of thing. I felt like they've had such a hard time getting these guys right that it would be better off just completely starting a clean slate and give it time. Like not just do a clean slate, but like let's wait 2, maybe 3 years before we see some of these characters again.
Yeah.
On like a major motion picture standpoint.
Yep.
And I'm okay with them taking this route if they're going to get it right. And supposedly they and some of the people that have been brought back, one of the executives is from that worked on Lord of the Rings, is a former Warner Brothers executive. They brought in a part of their, I believe, their board that worked on both Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. So these are people who understand like old trilogy or multi-film franchises that were connected, not just one-offs. And I think that's a part of the rumors you hear with what happened with Batgirls. That just didn't connect very well to the overall thing, even though it had J.K. Simmons in it and it had Michael Keaton's Batman. I think the Flash movie could be a one and done. Let's just kind of show people our Spider-Man No Way Home, take, or even, to me, I wouldn't even say Spider-Man No Way Home. I would say it's between Spider-Man No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Trying to connect that, but yeah, they clearly are going to take a long time. If 2025 is when they're talking about just being profitable, don't be surprised if next year, 2023, they say, look, we're going on a break. 2024, we're going to film some things, and then 2025, you're going to see some stuff. I would not be shocked.
Yeah. It's baffling. I'm still like trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out this. It's crazy. I mean, it's good, right? I think that they did a great job at identifying what the problem was, right?
Agreed.
And it could only go up from there, right? Because once they admit what's wrong, right? It wouldn't surprise me. Like next week, there's like a brutal shakeup at the studio, like.
Starting with Walter Hamada.
Yeah.
Let's call out names now that we're doing it. Yeah. Like Walter Hamada was supposed to be the Kevin Feige, right? So if you're saying you want a Kevin Feige like thing, you're directly referencing this person indirectly, right? Like so I would imagine Walter Hamada doesn't feel safe right now unless he knows something we don't know. I don't know who I would expect to come in and fill the shoes of a DC president, but I didn't really know Kevin Feige the way we've learned to know him now before with Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
To the same extent. I don't know if there's any DC producers outside of. I know this sounds really crazy, Obed. Kevin Smith. I know this sounds really crazy. Like outside of that, that I could think of
Him
that
and
would
Ben
be.
Affleck, probably Ben Affleck, because Ben Affleck loves
I
this
agree.
whole like comic book thing. Like he's a huge comic book nerd, right? And
He
and he
is.
understands the material. He understands the process of movie making.
Absolutely.
He's an Academy Award winning writer, director, dude. Come on.
Award writer, director, actor. He's done it all.
Yeah.
But I could Kevin Smith. I could see as a name right now that I would put in that seat if he would be willing to do it, because he's a fan himself. Like he probably would get the blessing of the fans, and he could. And it's not like Kevin Smith wouldn't know what to do if people hated on him. Like he's been in the spotlight. You
don't care.
You don't care. He's doing well.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, he literally has a whole. You can look up on YouTube clips. He literally has a whole panel at Comic-Con at the end of every Saturday, where it's just an opportunity for fans to do Q&A stuff, and he argues with people, and he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like this dude he's not afraid. That's the kind of person you probably need in that kind of seat. I say that now, and then maybe he does something like, oh, I didn't want it. But like you asked me right now, that's probably the first guy I'm calling right now.
That's interesting. Yeah. There's talent. There's definitely people that can manage these properties and
said JJ.
make it happen. I said JJ. JJ is a good candidate. I mean, but
even after Star Wars, you feel okay with having him in that seat?
I don't think that Star Wars was his fault.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that I think he had a vision, right? And then Last Jedi happened, and then what the heck happened to my vision? And he had to like scramble and salvage whatever he could.
While also listening to the people who pay his checks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was put in a no-win situation on that.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. So yeah, man. It's very interesting stuff. Real quick before we jump out, do you see that the Flash is ending on CW?
9 seasons.
Yep. It's ending, and it's gonna be a shorter season too, so it's like cutting it short.
Warner's cutting everything, man.
Yeah.
They're ready for a fresh. They're ready for new life in the company.
That's good. So, okay, before we jump into the next other pseudo announcements that happen, what's going to happen to WB Games?
Well, that was actually one of the properties that also is having a lot of rumors right now of also getting the shakeups.
Yeah,
they are definitely going to be making some changes there. There's definitely a lot of reports on sources saying that it's not safe in their game studio either. So this is not the last time we're talking about this. Mm-hmm. Q3 earnings report may be real spicy, man.
Yeah, because there's been that rumor floating around that PlayStation might have been interested in buying WB Games.
Yeah,
for a while, and it's been floating around for a couple of months at least. So
I could see that. That would be an interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. That would be because you got NetherRealm, you got Monolith. I think Monolith is WB Games, Rocksteady.
Oh yeah.
So you're gonna get all this top shelf studios, man.
Those would be some solid. That'd be a solid pickup.
Yeah. So we'll see about that. But we did get the announcement. We had got an announcement before that a sequel to the Joker was happening, but I'm not gonna butch the French subtitle.
Same.
So Folie Deux, I guess.
That's how I say it too.
Okay. Whatever.
Joker
2.
Safe answer.
With Lady Gaga as Harley? Question mark.
Yes. No, it's confirmed. It's confirmed. This is all official.
Okay. Yep. Well, there you go. So that is happening, coming out October 2024.
Important to note, this is a musical. This
Yeah,
movie,
yeah, that came out when the news originally came out that that it was going to happen, and
yep,
they said it was going to be musical. Yeah,
which sounded like a joke at first, but
but
no pun intended.
makes too much
But it
sense,
makes
you
sense.
know?
Yeah,
Right?
you got Gaga in here.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be so interesting.
Yeah.
That's yeah, man. I, yeah, a musical, how you're gonna do it, but that's gonna be very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's gonna take.
I
They confirm that it's gonna take place mostly at Arkham.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I mean, this is another one that I'd ask you. Obviously, won an award the first movie, right? That Joaquin, right, gets recognized. They have to make this movie because they made way more money than they did before. But at the same extent, I don't know that this warranted a sequel, man. I don't know that it warranted more. I'm not saying that I don't welcome it. I'm gonna watch it.
it had a good
I
cap. Yeah,
liked the first one.
yeah.
Um, but this is another one of those projects that
I mean, The Godfather got two sequels, sir.
it's true.
And it
Gotta
ended. It
milk
was kind of like
that cash cow, man.
it capped, right? Oh, speaking of cash cows, do you see the Sylvester Stallone thing?
No,
No, because
no.
they're gonna spin off a Drago franchise.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
And he
yeah.
was saying that this like they're milking the franchise, and he's pissed about it.
Yeah, I mean, he can say that.
Yeah.
If anyone can,
Yeah, I mean, he wrote the
Rock.
first movie. Like
Right.
he actually, so
He made that with his
he
own blood,
made
sweat, and tears.
exactly. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty crazy. Man.
Although
Leeches or something like that. He called them
yeah,
like so. Yeah,
yeah. Although, like, I'm not gonna lie, on paper, a Drago movie does sound kind of cool. But Sylvester totally has a point.
yeah, yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Yeah. Well, that's Amazon now, so they can do whatever.
That's true.
They got infinite money. They can do whatever they want.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that Lord of the Rings trailer. That didn't tell you that they got $5 billion sitting around. I don't know what did.
Yeah. So they released a little like I guess a concept thing for Joker 2, and yeah, I guess we'll have to wait
2024.
wait a couple of years for that, but it's happening. So stay tuned, I guess. All right. Exciting stuff. Because the series that no one asked for may turn out to be
The one.
the best freaking Star Wars thing ever. There's a new trailer for Andor. It got pushed back about almost a month, right? From the August 30th to September 21st.
Yep.
We're gonna get 3 episodes. And this trailer was just absolutely fantastic, bro. It was so good. So, I mean, I don't know that like, we can't really, we can tell what's going on, right, in the trailer, but I think the best way to describe what's going on with this show is what I told you, that this is the show, the Star Wars show that they're doing to go after Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings sort of thing. Like, this is gonna be like their long format, big, epic thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Like, the visuals were crazy. It looks like there's gonna be a lot of intrigue and political drama and action. Like, it looks like a really good mix of all that stuff, and I am very impressed.
Absolutely. I'm with you on this. I think it's cool because we're getting a lot of stories in the timeline that I definitely wanted content from, but I didn't realize how much I would enjoy. This timeline between episode 3 and episode 4, this sandbox that has been explored very loosely, is like, this is kind of where Disney has set their sights on recently, and obviously in that interview that was done beforehand, before with Kenobi, right, where they brought on set, Ian, this actor from Diego Luna from Andor, and and Pedro Pascal for the Mandalorian said this is kind of and Ahsoka, Rosario Dawson. They brought them all for that photo op, right? And said like this is where the future of Star Wars is going. This is going to be our franchises, our pillars, and I am so happy with how good this looks because, like you said, this is another one of the series that I was like, I don't have high hopes for. I'll just
You
take what
didn't
I
ask
can
for
get. I
this,
didn't
yeah.
ask for this. It's a Star Wars content, so I'm there, right? I mean, I'm gonna watch the Lego Star Wars summer special that they have coming up on Disney Plus. It's Star Wars, I'm eating it, right? I'm there, right? That's just how I've been with it. But I didn't think it would be terrible this series. This just wasn't one of those ones I had high on the radar. We talked about the last trailer, how good it looks, but this one puts the other trailer even to shame, Obed. The specific sequences that I love the most is the stuff that shows more of a flash to closer to episode 3 than we are to episode 4. Like it's between that timeline, but it's the stuff where you get like specifically the Senate like having the entire chamber, right, where like you have all the senators, whatever,
Yeah.
similar like we see. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Could
like,
we, could we see Palpatine, dude?
I really hope we see Palpatine. Like if
'Cause,
we see Palpatine,
bro, because you can get he was on Obi-Wan for like 2 seconds, right? It's like this,
someone for both.
but that's exactly, yeah. It's like, dude, you got makeup on already? Come on, let's go ahead and film this thing.
Things left me
And,
scarred.
and you can do the whole my resolve has never been. You can do the whole thing, yeah. Yeah, man.
I
Like see him
really
in action,
hope-
right? Like was we saw the little bit on episode 3, right? But like I would like to see like Palpy, like full Palpy in action, like already like there's like the systems and this thing, and I'm ordering the Imperial Army to go to this place and basically bind this planet to death. Basically,
I mean, how cool if we get just one action sequence with Palpatine, where he's just decides to like kill a couple of droids because he can or something. Like I don't know, like something random like that, bro. The possibilities with this show, I think there's a lot. I don't want to. I know Star Wars. Sometimes we get our hopes too high and we start predicting and start to figure out everything. I'm not going to do that with this one. I'm going to sit back and enjoy what I get.
Yeah.
But because we're in a time where they're going to have to stress the fact of the evil that has taken over. It's
Yeah.
not just that there's a new sheriff in town, right? Like okay, like they won. They seem like they won, right? You would think that okay, it would look good to everybody that now the chancellor is now in charge and all of this, but it doesn't look good.
yeah, and I think this would be a good opportunity for them to introduce Thrawn.
Agreed.
And
Yeah.
that way you can just and cap it with Ahsoka, right? And
Yeah.
and that this would be a good opportunity for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could like, I don't know, end with like Palpatine, like, oh, Your Highness, there's this like rebellion against the Empire that's rising up. It's like, it's pitiful rebellion. I don't care about that. And then just showing his overconfidence, like what like Luke pointed it out in Return of the Jedi. So
That's true. That's there's a lot that
there's a lot that you can do that could be like fantastic, dude. So
like, dude, seeing the clone troopers.
yeah.
Oh, dude, I was like, oh, they're showing them again. Yeah, I love that we saw the clone troopers obviously in Obi-Wan recently, but seeing them again in action, like these are our people that were there to replace machines. This is before we actually get the enlisting people, right? That you start getting towards episode 4.
That we'll probably see
like
too when they started.
Batch.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. The Bad Batch could be around in this show too, or even one of them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibilities in this show. Gosh, I Camino. There's a lot of things, dude. Hera.
There's a lot of stuff that you can do. Honestly, yeah.
This and the fact that it's 2 seasons. And I don't know. We
12 episodes, right? I think
12 episodes. I think, yeah. So
I'm really excited.
very, very excited. Yeah.
I'm hyped. I'm hyped. Like I said, I'm burned out. But I saw this trailer. It's like, oh no, this is like
got you back.
It's good stuff. Like it's Yeah.
Your prediction about it competing against Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, I was like, that makes so much more sense because this looks large enough in scale to be the thing that pulls people over. So good prediction.
Yeah. Yeah. And it looks like they're going for that like big sort of like
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. And you can tell that like they really went like this is not the dome. This is something else. Like they're filming outside with like actual like big sets and like they're doing.
Props and
Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna be. It's gonna definitely feel bigger than that what we've seen in the past. So
yeah.
yeah, crazy stuff, man. So good. So it looked phenomenal. So I was like, I don't know where this trailer came out, bro, and I was like super pumped for it. It looks so good. So yeah, we'll see. We're only a couple months away. Joel, there's a rumor. I could take it with a grain of salt. Two big rumors actually that EA is working on two Marvel games. One for Iron Man and one for Black Panther. The Black Panther one, based on the information that got out there, is allegedly an open world game, sort of going through T'Challa becoming the Black Panther and the whole process, right? So, not much to say. This seems to be in very early stages of development. But then a couple of days later, it was also reported that they're working on an Iron Man game. Iron Man had a couple of games by Sega back in the PS3 days. They were not that good.
Very basic.
Yeah, I think that's
Cash
the right
grab.
that's the right that's the right word to use. Basic. Yeah. Man, I want to say that out of all the like the video game the movie video game tie-ins, probably the best one was the worst movie, which was the X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was awesome.
Yeah, the game was crazy huge, bro.
Yeah, the game was freaking cool. It was gory and yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't that something?
I
Right?
was so hyped for the movie because I kept watching the game stuff and I was like, oh,
Yeah, the movie was
that's
rough.
so true. Yeah, that was not great.
Yep. So yeah, very very interesting stuff. There's not really any other information other than that, but something that I pointed out to you is that, well, like EA technically made an Iron Man game. It's called Anthem, because you're in a exosuit, you fly around, you shoot stuff, you basically take Anthem, and like if they get the team that made Anthem, right, and they make them do an Iron Man game, but without the whole online garbage they had going on, and do just a story driven single player game, could be pretty good, man.
They can build on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fix the issues of before. Storyline's going to get you. You're going to get more attention because it's Iron Man. No, I agree. Could be a good. I didn't think of it that way until you had pointed it out to me earlier about like it's like they kind of already made an Iron Man game. It's called Anthem, and I was like, I didn't think of it that way. That's a good point. But that doesn't deter me. Like you would think I would hear that and be like, oh no, like Iron Man's gonna be like the Anthem game. Well, I don't want that. I actually have more faith in it because EA's been pretty good about learning from their mistakes.
Yeah. And I think the problem. Yeah. Go ahead.
We talked about with Battlefront, like that was fixed pretty fast, right? Jedi Fallen Order, solid. I don't think after Anthem, I don't think they're gonna put out another one of those. I could be wrong, but I feel like they're pretty good about learning from their mistakes. I don't think they're gonna make us have to worry too much. But that's just me being optimistic.
Yeah. I don't think that the gameplay itself was the problem with Anthem. I think it was more of the problem that the same thing that happened to Battlefront, and they were not able to backtrack it. Yeah. Like it was something that was so intertwined and built into the game that they just weren't able to backtrack what they were working on. So
that's a good point.
it stinks. It stinks. Like it that game. What happened in that game's very unfortunate. So I don't know. You can still buy it at like Five Below, right?
Yeah,
Last time
yeah.
they had a bunch. Last time I checked, it was crazy.
Oh
Um,
boy.
Joe, this is not on the docket, but you wanna talk about the PS Plus selection for like the base tier because they've been
Yeah.
killing it for the
Yeah,
last two
dude.
months, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I think you and I have said like the pricing, they've done a really good job from when they originally announced it, and now we're actually seeing the delivery of these games, the lineups, and I'm like, gosh, this is really good.
it's really
Like
good.
you're
Like,
actually getting good bang for your buck.
yeah, that middle tier is really good. But still too much. Like, I don't have time to play all those games, right? Um, but on just the base subscription, we got this month we got Yakuza Like a Dragon and Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 and Little Nightmares. So we got three
Yeah,
solid games that you can add to your I don't want to say collection because you're not really collecting these, but you do get access to play these games
absolutely.
on your console. So very very good. Last month was also solid. What was like? Oh man, now I got to look it up.
Final Fantasy, I think. No.
Was it the Nickelodeon Smash thing they have?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Brawlers
Yeah.
or let's see, PS Plus June 2022. Yep, it was God of War, Naruto Strikers, and a Nickelodeon All Star Brawl. Yeah, so that was super solid.
Yeah.
So they're like this past 2 months, man. It's been good. So they're building really good value with this thing. Unfortunately, Nintendo and their like Switch Online, I really don't see a reason to really go with the premium stuff. At this point, it's just that it's too much, right? I mean, it's cool that you get the like the Mario Kart tracks and whatnot, but you know, it's almost $100 for the year for the family plan. I really don't see value on that.
Yeah.
So, but no, and PlayStation with their, I think they're doing a great job with their new PS Plus, man. Honestly,
100%
like
agree.
I was concerned, but
Yeah, they when they announced just the tiers like alone, I knew that they were already they had a good plan in place. I think the highest tier still not a bad offer when you think about it,
no.
but it's the only one that like I was like, maybe you could have given me a little extra incentive probably for me to spend that much. Like it's not justified for me, but even it's not like abusive or something to the base. Like it's not like, oh my goodness, you're taking advantage of us for this horrible thing. I'm happy with where I'm at right now with my subscription, but when they say the PS Plus extra, like it's extra. It's
Yeah,
good.
it's good. Yeah,
They're living up.
yeah. They're having a very aggressive summer sale right now too, so
Yeah.
that's pretty good. And then there's also rumors that there is going to be a showcase this month, like the
Okay.
actual what E3 was supposed to be kind of thing.
Yeah, and apparently it's supposed to be huge. Like yeah, like it's like you're saying it's their E3 thing, so it's supposed to be very big. I
Yeah.
saw that this morning.
Yep. And we haven't seen any first party stuff from Nintendo yet because
No.
we saw the third party stuff, which was okay, but we haven't seen like the next updates for like Zelda and
No.
the next Mario or something. It's that's the thing with Nintendo, right? They're not gonna say, "Hey, we're gonna have a new console coming out next year," which is probably gonna happen.
Yeah.
They've been able to keep the Switch in stock everywhere for
It's so good.
for this entire year. Like you're gonna walk in the store and get a Switch, get any model of Switch that you like. You can get the Lite, the regular model, or the OLED. Like everyone has stock. So I keep saying again, going back to the Series S, like you can basically walk in, to Walgreens and buy one. Pretty much, like they're everywhere, dude.
Oh man,
Like that's why they're selling so good. If people are looking for something next gen and they don't want to go through the hassle of having to sign up for a list at PlayStation or just wait for Xbox drop, they can do it.
Amazon does it too. You saw that Amazon give the request an invite.
Yeah,
to buy PS5 on there.
That's how they should have done it from the beginning, man.
But I mean, their problem is so people just want their stuff so. Dude, they're tired of winning. They're just winning so much. They're tired of it.
Yeah.
Give Xbox a chance.
Yeah, Xbox, the Series X is available on invitation on Amazon. Let me check Best Buy, because I think Best Buy still has them.
Don't they do it though as just drops? I think they just do those quick drops. I don't think it's requests.
Oh, for
PlayStation, but Xbox has got to be.
Oh, for
everywhere.
Xbox
got to be everywhere.
Yeah. Well, right? I mean, the X is not.
Series S.
Yeah.
Series
S is everywhere. Yeah. You can buy. Yeah, you can buy an S everywhere. Yeah. Actually, it was was it for Prime Day? I think Prime Day had like a Series S with a controller for like $300. Like it was like a free controller. Wow. Yeah. So it was somewhere.
I would love a Series S right now. It's a good deal.
Honestly,
I'm not moved to spend my money, but it is a good deal what they've got going on there.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Hopefully I can watch Miss Marvel next week and we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we'll
still
have
haven't
more.
watched. Yeah, you still haven't watched Stranger Things, right?
Some of it. Well, I'll have to give you my off air. For sure, because I'm getting through.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when you're done, we can talk about it on air. That should be an interesting conversation. But Joel, in the meantime, where can people find us?
Absolutely. Everyone, thank you so much for sticking with us, subscribing, all the new subscribers and followers. Thank you all so much for being here with us. We want to invite you to stay connected. So if you're not following us on a podcast platform, make sure that you do subscribe on those platforms. We're talking Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, podcast platforms of your choice. Make sure you're following us there. Also, if you're on there but you want to see the video version, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That helps us out, really supports the channel, supports our show just by hitting that simple subscribe button, hitting the like button on the videos. Really helps us out significantly. It makes no cost to you, but just asking your time and help there, as well as we'd also ask if you'd write a review about No Load Time on podcast platforms. So like if you're on Spotify, write a review on Spotify about No Load Time. And write a review about us on these various platforms. That would really help us out as well. We also want to invite you to follow us on social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time. We're on places like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. See them all down below, those social handles. Find us at No Load Time. We also are on Twitch, so if you're following us there, if you're already on Twitch, thank you so much. We invite people who are not to go ahead and follow us on our Twitch channel. We broadcast live to there consistently, so make sure you're following us there. Last but not least, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, we'd love to hear from you. You can send an email to us, noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. Thank you all so much, and we look forward to being with you on our very next episode.
Thank you, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you again next time.